This tutorial is over Unit 3, Lesson 7, Sprites. So here in Canvas, you would start with the overview page right below the text header that says Lesson 7 Sprites. So you click there. It says you are going to learn how to assign a sprite to a variable. You're going to learn how to use dot notation to update a sprite's property. You're going to learn to create a static scene combining sprite shapes and text. So your task is to read all the content material and do all the activities and then turn in your lesson assignment. So you have some vocabulary here. What's a property? It's just a label for a characteristic of a sprite, such as its location and appearance. What is a sprite? It's a character on a screen with properties that describe its location, movement, and look. And then what is dot notation? The way that sprites properties are used in GameLab by connecting the sprite and the property with a dot. So you will see how these work how you get into when you get into GameLab in code.org. So you click next. Here's your lesson page that takes you over these specific codes. Draw sprites. Variable sprite equals create sprite with different variables in it. Sprite dot scales, that's where we're talking about the dot notation. So here's your first video. What is a sprite? What are the properties? What problem do sprites solve? So you would need to watch that video. After you're done watching it, click next. And you would go to, here's a lesson on how to create a sprite. And it shows you how to create your own sprite using the animation tab. So you'd read through that. And then you'd watch this video on the animation tab. And it's going to go over what's the steps to adding an image to a sprite. What are the different ways to get an image? How can you get those different images? So you need to watch that video. And then here's a more in-depth look at that animation tab when you go in there to create different animated sprites with the animation tab and different parts to it. So there's the animation button. And here's the sprite and where you can work on your sprite and the drawing tools and how you can edit and actually add more animations that you want to add to your code. So you'd read through that, click next, and he covers that in the videos too. And now you come to your assignment. So just like before, you're going to click Sprites, that assignment link, and you're going to make a copy. And on here, you're going to see the purpose is to learn how to create sprites in GameLab. So you're going to do level 1, level 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So just like you've done before, you're going to paste in your share link for each activity as you do them in code.org. Here we are in code.org, lesson 7 sprites. We are on the first level 1 exploration, which it has you run that and you have to answer the question, what is each line doing? Right? So when we run this, it wants you to write something up that will tell you that you need to type out what is each line doing. So as you run it, it says a variable called fruit that creates a sprite at 100, 200, and then set the animation to apple. So those first 2 lines of code create this apple. If I do the grid, I can see where that apple's placed. And then another variable is created called vegetable, and it says created at 300, 200, so that's X and Y. Label that vegetable and set its animation to carrot. So if I want to change to a different animation, I can click down the drop-down menu. And then draw sprites is a new code that you are going to use that after you've created these variables and set their animation, draw sprites actually draws them. So if I were to take this draw sprite off of there and try to run it, nothing happens. You have to have the draw sprite at the end to actually draw those sprites. So you can see nothing happen, but when I place it back there, now it draws my sprites. If I place them right here in the middle, it's only going to draw one of my sprites. See that? It draws the apple because I don't have it. I need to have it at the end. If I put it at the beginning, it's going to draw nothing. If I put it right there, it won't let me put that at the beginning. But if I did, it would draw nothing. So you always got to place it at the end. Okay, so you're going to answer that question here. We just kind of talk through it. So you're just going to type out your answer about what each line is doing. Then you go to number 2. And number 2, the video, we already watched that in Canvas. But if you did not watch it in Canvas, then watch it here again, which is on Introduction to Sprites. And then go to number 3. And then here, you're going to start learning how to take a sprite. You're going to create a sprite, and then you're going to draw that sprite. So there's no code for you here. So it takes you through, how do you create a sprite? Well, you have this new, in your toolbox, you have draw sprites, and you have a sprite. So it's going to take you through of how you're going to have to drag across and then, create your sprite. And you want to create your first sprite, which is just this gray square. That's it. And then you're going to have to draw it. Okay, and once you've got that working, right now it doesn't work because I'm missing something. Something else has to be over here to make it draw. So read through it, and once you're done with that, then you guys all know that you need to paste in that share link on your assignment. You click the share button to get that link. And when you've got that completed, go to number 4. On number 4 now, I like to drag that space down so I can read. Number 4, it wants me to create 2 sprites, just like this on the right-hand side. But I've got variable sprite, so there's 2 sprites here, but it's only showing 1. So what's wrong? So you need to fix it. You can move your mouse, hover over the triangles, and it'll tell you, or just look at the code and you can see there's something wrong there that I need to move so that both will show. Once you have that figured out, then click share, get your link, and then go paste it over here on your assignment. And then go to number 5. Now number 5, level 5, it wants you to add animations now. So when I run this, I've got 4 sprites. And you're going like, what do you mean 4 sprites? I have 3 squares or 3 rectangles, and then I have an alien looking thing. Oh, well, those are all sprites. Okay, so 3 of the sprites are just rectangles, and then you actually have one set to be an alien. All right, so you have a variable called top left sprite, top right sprite, bottom left sprite, bottom right sprite. And then you set the animation here. It says bottom right sprite, set the animation to alien. So you have all these different choices when you click the drop down. So the bottom right sprite already has an animation. So you've got to use these under sprites. You need to use set animation and drag and drop that over to fix and set an animation for the top left, the top right, and the bottom left. And you got to watch your naming. Okay, once you've got that figured out so that all 4, so that your top left is a different character, it's no longer a square, and then your top right is no longer a square, and your bottom left is no longer a square, then you have completed that assignment. So you're going to have to move some stuff over. Read the directions, and then when you're done, click your share button. Again, copy that code, remember, and then just go paste that into your assignment here. Okay, remember, hit enter. And then you would go to number 6, and this video, we already watched it in Canvas, but if you forgot the video and you want to watch it again, go ahead and watch this again because it's very valuable. He goes over in specific details how to use the animation tab. Once you've done that, click continue. And now you have a debug. So debug some sprites. This program draws 3 sprites. Look over to the right. This is what it needs to look like. So this program draws 3 sprites. They give you the code, the starting code, but it's not working. The wrong sprite is in front and one sprite's animation is not showing. So if I click run, oh, well, this sprite is in the wrong, it's not the right animation. And then this sprite, the gray, doesn't even have an animation associated with it. And then they're both in front of the words get ready, and they need to be behind it. Okay, so you need to run the code, fix the problems. There's 2 problems in the code. And then just like shapes, here's your hint, sprites are drawn in the order they're created. So remember, the code is read from top down. Okay, so once you fix that, you're going to click the share button, get your code, and then copy it over to your assignment. And then you're going to go to number 8. Number 8, it says draw sprites matching level. Input the answers to the right. So you're going to put your answers here. All right, so over here, you're just going to choose, you drag and drop, all right, whichever ones you think it is. All right, you got to look at the code, and then when you click submit, but you're gonna describe over here what the answers were from top down. Okay, so and just call this A, B, C, D, and do that. Okay. Once you're done with that, then go to 9. And 9 wants you to choose 2. So that means they're 5 points apiece. So you can choose 2. You can do the where are the sprites, sprite animation, sprite name, sprite order, fish scene, or combine ideas. I think I would probably either do A, B, C, D, or E versus F. F is probably a little more difficult, but you can do whatever 2 you want, but you need to choose 2, which means when you've completed those, you've got to have 2 share codes, share links pasted in here. Okay, so you got to paste twice. Whatever that share link is, you're going to have 2 codes sitting there, 2 different codes. Then you got to do level 10 and level 11. So when you go to 11, you're going to create your own sprites, all right? So there's nothing in the workspace here. This is the assessment or like a test, and you're trying to make the lobster. Okay, it says, so, or you can make the lobster or choose something else. Go to the animation tab. The animation tab is right here, you guys. Okay, and that's all in the video. And in the tab, create at least 2 sprites in different places on the screen. So you don't have to do the lobster. That's just an example saying like, hey, this is an animated sprite. Just place them 2 different places on the screen. And then place them on the screen, assign them an animation. So here's your sprites. So you're going to be working with these 2 codes right here. And you're going to be working with variables. Okay, and you can use the drawing. So you can make a scene behind there like sky or ocean, whatever you want to put. And then you have variables too. But you have all of these tools in your toolbox to use. So go through, do this, create 2 different sprites, 2 different places on the screen, assign each sprite a different animation, and draw your sprites on the screen. Okay, so you can make it simple, or you can be a little more, or go up a different level, and you can create some background too if you want, but it's not required. What's required is to have 2 different sprites in 2 different places on the screen. Once you're done, click the share button, get your code, and put it on your assignment. And then go to number 11, which is the challenge. And again, we're not going to do combine ideas because it's almost like free play. So you need to choose either A or you choose B. And then once you're done, then you would, if I chose this one, A, then I would click the share button, and like I'm running this one. So this one's actually, you're going to replace this sprite with a kite image. So once that's done, then I just click share, get my link, and then I'd paste it down here. And then that's number 7 would be done, lesson 7. Then you would go back to Canvas, click start assignment, and either submit it as a file upload, a text entry, a website URL, or if you have Google Drive, then you would submit via your Google Drive. So just remember, if you're going to use the text entry or the website URL, that you have to get the share link from your document. So just to go over that again, click share, make sure anyone with a link, and then copy that link and done. So that's the link. If you're going to submit the share link, that's the link that you would get, and then you would use it either in the text entry like that, or you would use the website URL. with that share link. Either way works. Or you can choose file upload or Google. And that's it for lesson 7 on Sprites.